Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm actually just waiting for plan A to start. The Titanex, best in class DeFi, USD millions in ETH payout. So we haven't started, it seems, yet. So we're just waiting right now. I have the reminder. It's right time right now. Yeah. So I'm just, we're just going to be waiting. Can you guys hear me well? So hope you guys can hear me well. I'm waiting for plan A to start. And then I'm just going to shut up. Okay, that's great. Because one of the feedback I got last week was we can't hear you. Oh, Dazzle says he can't hear me. That's weird. Can you guys hear me? Red Pill, can you guys hear me at all? Yes. So you guys can hear me. No, I meant can auto. Oh. Okay, you sound fine. Fair enough. Okay. That's fantastic. So this is awesome. Plan A is still not here. So if I'm not mistaken, let me just see. Plan A, where are you, my friend? We're waiting. So guys, just wait a bit. We're just about to start, but I can. This is gonna be my first time trying to live stream actually the weekly spaces. Yeah, we're waiting for the host of the show. Yeah, absolutely. So we guys have to just wait. Let's see. Some few likes came in. By the way, guys, just as we're waiting here, maybe I can just show you some of the things I've been working on, especially for some of you. You might have received this one already. I think this is the one which I've sent out. So if you haven't received it yet, just DM me and then I'll send you the link to it. And then we can definitely have a look. So one of the things which a lot of people were asking me was it was not so easy to see miner length regarding the miner length because especially at the beginning a lot of people made a lot of mistakes because the mistakes which was made was imagine you're in day one and you want to have the you want to how long would you want to mine or how long should you mine until you can be in the day payout and most people what they did was they mined for 7 days because well it's day 1 plus 7 8 and then I can be on the 8-day payout. That's what a lot of people had thought, but actually what happened was you'd had to you'd had to mine only for 6 days because on the first day plus 6, then on the 7th day you get liquid and then you stake and then you can be on the 8-day payout. But most people made that mistake. So I wanted to help people out that they do not do this mistake anymore. By the way, let's just check if it has started already. Just not that I'm rambling here. Hold on, where's the link now? Oh, here it is. So we have started. Hold on a second. What is going on? Plan A is hosting. Hold on. Okay, sorry guys. Something is wrong here because last week I was able to join it without. It seems it's running already, but maybe it's on my phone. Okay, sorry guys. Maybe this is. Hold on a second. Okay, something is wrong. Sorry guys. I really thought we would be able to join on the laptop because I was able to join yesterday through the laptop, but seems that's not possible. So let me try to figure out a solution here. If I can connect my phone somewhat to it. Okay.
As financial advice. So nothing here constitutes financial advice. It's the long and short of it. We're all encouraged to do our own research. So good. Let us look at the stats, the statistics as it stands today.
Can you guys hear that? We'll look at that first. I'm just using my phone now because that's the only thing I got.
And the payout pools. Now, looking at the distribution of Titanex, we've got about 7.22% liquid. As we're aware, over the last week, quite a number of Titanex tokens hit the market. But it's really been, you can see the behavior of the community has been one of staking. There's the staking, the number of Titanex tokens staked has just grown in a big way. And that's a really good sign and healthy for the entire ecosystem. So yes, liquid, we've got 7.22%. Staked, we've got 35.53%. We've got buy and burn, we've got 56.91%. And that, it represents Titanex tokens that will never see, will never appear on the market. These have been, burnt. And that's it. And so that's another indicator that I think is often overlooked, but is a really good indicator as to the health and the performance of the Titanex ecosystem. There's still penalties, 0.18%. It's not that significant, but it's still is something that needs to be mentioned, and it isn't quite clear to me why this is happening. Particularly given that the way Titanex has been structured, it's really very lenient on, and this is comparatively speaking, on mines that come to an end, because you do have this grace period. It's a 7-day grace period to claim. Again, it's not that significant. It's not something that we really should spend an inordinate amount of time on, but I think it's worth saying that if it's an oversight, and we have members of the community here who may very well may be impacted, that it's probably something that can be fixed and fixed very quickly. In terms of hard figures, the liquid amount of tokens that we have is 800, just I'll round it down, 800 billion. And in terms of dollars, in terms of currency terms. Now, interestingly, of course, if we look at the buy and burn pool, it's about 32 million USD worth of ETH in both pools. We look at the liquidity that's on the market. We've got in excess of 1 million USD. So in total, let's just say we've got about just a little over 33 million. This is not exactly the exact figure, but we're just approximating 33 million USD. I think something that tends to be overlooked by, and I probably new joiners or people who want to, who just want information on this and just or just can't wait to jump in. When they look at price, they draw the entire conclusion as to the performance of the protocol, when in fact, when you look at the amount of liquid available, that's 2.4 million, and you look at the liquidity in the system, as we mentioned, is about just over 33 million USD worth of ETH. It means that even if all the holders of the liquid Titanex tokens in the market were to sell, they could sell the entire amount 15 times over. That is the extent of liquidity in this system, and it can't be overlooked. There are not that many protocols within the crypto environment that have the level of liquidity that Titanex can boast of. And when you add that to the fact that Titanex is really only in its 64th day of existence since launch, I think that should bring things or put things into perspective. Perspective. So I think that much we can say about this, the liquid supply, and of course, compare that to the liquidity that's within the system. Now, staked, we've got over 4 trillion in fixed currency terms. It's 11.6 million. Penalties, we've talked about that. That's just over 20 billion, and that's about 58,000 USD worth. User burned, we've got about 13 million or 13.4 million Titanex tokens, and that's about I think it's 39K worth of USD in USD terms. Buy and burn, we've looked at that. It's again 56.91% in percentage terms. In fixed Titanex terms, again, it's about 6.4, because it's 6 trillion or 6.4 trillion. In terms of USD terms, that's 18.5, 18.6 million. Again, it goes to show that our buy and burn function is really doing doing its work. And as we kind of project into the future, if it continues and we continue the sort of growth that we've experienced so far, when you add the third-party projects that we're expecting, and we'll come back to the the third-party projects later on, but if you put all of that into the equation, I think your next quarter, first quarter of next year, second quarter and second quarter of next year, we should witness we should witness good growth and good performance. And I just want to understate this rather than kind of overstate. Titanex so far has under promised and over delivered, and may it continue to be so. Good. And Richie, I think you made that same point in one of your tweets. But anyway, yes. So progressing on, let's think the buy and burn pools. I think we've touched upon that. V1, V2. It's about 33, about 32 million USD worth of ETH. That's really good. In terms of payouts, we had our payout yesterday on the 8-day rolling, and this protocol continues to function without any hitch in terms of definitely with respect to the payouts, and that is really something that we could be really happy about. Now, the 8-day payout cycle, if we take a look at it currently, we already have over 100,000 USD worth of ETH in that pool. And that really goes to show the level of confidence that this protocol has. The 28-day payout cycle, which is due on the 19th of January. And if you wanted to reference Mike Dean's Excel sheet, that is really a good resource in terms of making sure that we know when these payouts occur, the exact dates that they occur, and plan accordingly. I think it is definitely a resource that we should look at on an ongoing basis. But the 28-day payout cycle due on the 19th of January is close to 2 million USD. January, we'll see, I think, about 5 payout cycles. Again, please take a look at Mike Dean's resource on this. And don't take my word for it. I think I do need to look at it again. But I think if memory serves me right, I think we should be we're looking at I think 5 payouts next month, which is really good. Now the 90-day payout cycle continues to amaze me. It's almost 5 million. So is the 369-day payout cycle. That is, of course, almost 5 million. The 8-day payout cycle is just over 2 million USD worth of ETH. Now, again, when I say 5 million, of course, I mean 5 million USD worth of ETH. Now, just going back to the 369-day payout cycle, again, just referencing my dean's Excel sheet on the payout days, we would notice, taking a look at the Excel sheet, that there are actually several payouts occurring that week. I think within an 8-day period leading up to the 29th of October, which I believe is the 369-day payout. You have, within that 8-day period, you have about five payouts just within an 8-day period. And bear in mind that the 369-day payout cycle is already approximately 5 million USD. So there's really going to be, I'm expecting fireworks next year. I'm expecting fireworks come October. And I think that would really be great for not just Titanex and the Titanex community, but I think for the entire crypto ecosystem, the entire digital assets ecosystem. So finally, we have a truly fair crypto that is sustainable and where the majority of the community benefits. We've repeated it here previously, but this is what happens when a founder puts his or her community first. It can happen. Titanex proves this. So I think we continue to watch this space and continue to be engaged. And I think as we construct our own goals and seek to achieve these goals within the ecosystem and apply our strategies to continue to, I think this to evangelize this, for want of a better word. For most of us, I think we could say one of the days when we have no choice but to engage in this gamble in the crypto space, and pretty much it was a gamble. So if you wanted to participate in this space, you knew the potential. All you had was just a bunch of projects that were really it was pretty much a massive gamble. And Titanex has really revolutionized this space by really, I think you can get, there are no guarantees at all. But the level of information available here, you can actually say we can achieve information symmetry, as opposed to information asymmetry that we had with previous systems of sacrifice ICOs, where the founders had all the information and they pretty much abused it. They can use bait and switch. They can, retain or pre-mine or pre-allocate a bunch of tokens that can be dumped on the community. I think we all know exactly how it goes. Those who've been around for quite a while will exactly know how it goes. Now, with this, with protocol, the Titanex protocol system, that bad behavior pretty much has been eliminated. You really have here a level of information and transparency that you will struggle to find within the entire ecosystem. And so Titanex, in essence, is fair crypto. It is best in class DeFi. And the data is there to support it. Yes, it's a very young project. Yes, it is just over 2 months old, but I don't think it is far-fetched to pretty much present the data that backs up the narrative that is Titanex. It is, of course, it's done very well. And I know I don't know if we've been in a position where you blush your success is so good that you even blush at your own success, and that is what Titanex is. I find it's been so successful so far, and when you look at it in the future, the sustainability of this project is such that it just makes you blush. You really have to hold yourself back from really, from really stating the obvious or what should be the obvious. Good. So can I just very quickly, before I hand over to Mike Dean on this, I would like to just make some references to Titanex.watch. And I really want to say thank you to Armin Shimon for building such an excellent resource for the community. So this, whatever I say or whatever we have that transpires in, or anybody says within these spaces, can be cross-checked independently. Now, I think in addition to the stats that we've read out, I just want to talk about, just very quickly, the miners. So, of course, we talked about the buy and burn, we've talked about the stakes, but miners, it's important for us to note, we've got about 226,300 mines currently within the system. You compare that from the day one mines. We just had about 17,300. Again, you can always independently cross-check this. So from, say, 17,000 mines day one to day 64, where we have 226,000 or over 226,000 mines, is a level of growth that I think we could be proud of. So we, in essence, have, more than 10x the number of mines that occurred on the first day. In terms of users, first day, we had about 1,629 today, being, of course, day 64, we have the 11,886 users. Again, this is about 10x. So this, this growth is real. It's real in terms of the performance, because that's where all of this translates into the performance that we've witnessed so far, and again, may it continue to be so. So yes, we started off by saying yes, we want to look back as to how Titanex has performed and the growth, and we've done that. This is the end of year, as we mentioned earlier on. Looking forward to next year, there is really a lot that will happen, and I think as long as we keep an eye on the relevant levers here, I think we will get the story of Titanex. And just to just bear in mind that even with the token price seemingly very cheap, that is not even 10% of the story of Titanex. And in fact, that's where it should be. We are in the hyperinflationary period, as most of us know. So we have these strong indicators that we've been through. But price, given that this is the hyperinflationary period or phase of Titanex, it's really what it should do. The intention is, of course, to get Titanex in as many hands as possible. And if we don't keep an eye on the right indicators and the right narrative here, once this protocol becomes deflationary and the price moves or goes north as expected, I think we'll look back at these days and say this was really a gift. It's a gift. These days were really presented opportunities that were missed. And again, that's if you take a medium long range view. Within crypto, medium long range view, it's really not that. I'm really talking about within the next 3 to 6 months. It's not that far off at all. But I think understanding the narrative is very important. I think on that note, I'd like to pause and hand to Mike Dean to explain if there's anything else that Mike you need to add or you want to add from a stats perspective or anything else, please feel free.
Hey, Blane, thank you very much. Today actually is the first day we're trying something new, and we are actually streaming this live on YouTube as well as we speak. So initially last week, actually, I thought that I could just use my laptop to stream it straight away. That would have been the easiest. But as I found out, it doesn't work anymore. It was working last week. I could listen to the spaces on on the laptop, but this week, unfortunately, it doesn't work. Nevertheless, I have just connected my phone to the microphone, or the phone is near the microphone right now, so at least people can hear that. So one thing I would like to start first, Plan A, where is your green border? Everybody's having one. You don't have one. Let's start with that.
that will be correct.
Fair enough, because I see.
I do promise that.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. I was actually seeing you have no green border. So shout out to Richie B. He had the green border before a lot more people than us. So I'm really looking forward listening to Richie B later on. Great perspective as always. So this is really great. So one thing I would like to start with was some feedback from last week's upload from the Twitter, from the spaces on the weekly one. Is that I think most people could not hear me very well because I was using another microphone which was not really well. So hopefully today you can hear me quite well. I mean, especially on YouTube right now, since I'm using my normal microphone, which is a high quality one, you should be hearing me quite well. So hopefully that one is fixed. The second thing I would like to mention is obviously, hopefully, you guys also had a great time with the family. I was gone for a few days, and I mean, if it was upon me, I would have just stayed here with you guys on Twitter and produce more things around Titanex. But yeah, nevertheless, family is important, and that's that. So I go back yesterday, and the first thing I did was obviously I got started working straight away, and I had to improve the Dune. I think you guys have given me a lot of feedback already, so I have a long to-do list on the Dune dashboard. But nevertheless, so I started working on that, and I would like to introduce some of the new changes here today. So if you're live on YouTube right now, you can actually see as well what I'm actually showing. So this is probably a bit easier for you guys who can actually see it as well. But nevertheless, I'm going to try to use my words to express what I'm seeing in front of me, so you guys can get a bit of a feel of how things are in currently. So obviously we're day 64. Some of the number of miners, we have crossed 200k, and we are now around 225,955. So, and we got 11,877 unique users. And I would like to probably go into a bit on this user growth right now, because this is the new changes which I did yesterday. So I spent quite some time yesterday just fixing this so we get this, and I thought it was pretty. I think it's good information to have it this way. So let's start with the unique users. So as I said earlier, we have 11,877 unique users since launch. But I was also interested how many unique users since the last 24 hours. So the last 24 hours, we got 861 unique users, the last 24 hours. And then we got data for unique users for the last 7 days, and that's 3,207. And then unique users the last 30 days, that's 8,454. In addition to that, we also got the growth rate, which is expressed in a percentage. Let's look at the 24 hours. The growth rate is 55.42%. This compares the last 24 hours with the 24 hours prior to that. So that's why you can look at the growth rate. So as we can see, it has been interpretation of the data with the 55.42% would be that today was a payout day, and quite a bit of that went back to. So some of that brought some new users as well, and so forth. And if we look at last week's unique users, the last 7 days, we are minus 16%. But this could also be interpreted in a way that we had a 56-day payout last week, and a lot of new users were there in the last week. So that's why this week we do not have as much, but obviously day 56 was quite a unique day. So because if we look at my sheet, and if we go to day 56, so you guys are on YouTube, you actually have it a bit better because you can see my sheet straight here. And by the way, if you don't have the Google Sheet here, just send me a DM and I'll send it to you. Yeah, so we can see day 56 is quite unique because we had the double payout, which is, yeah, obviously was somewhat a big thing, obviously also for the marketing side of things. So a lot more users came there on that week. And we can also just see the unique users for the last 30 days. And you can see 171% growth, basically. So that's pretty amazing, actually, because it seems like the last 30 days was quite a growth month, for sure. And I initially thought I would also put the last 60 days, but it didn't make sense because we're on day 64. So I don't have... yeah, I need a comparison 60 days prior to that, but we don't have that data yet. So just the last 30 days, I think it's quite enough. So I think, another thing which I did was as well, there's a new graph here which shows basically the cumulative unique users over the days, over the contract days. So you can see here on day 1, day 2, and so forth. And one thing maybe to just mention as well, if you hover over the days, you can actually see the date as well. That's also something I've been working on. I'm getting better on the Dune as well to just show more data. And so now you can see day 2, and then you can see it was the 29th of October 23, and also day 2 is written there as well. So I think that's pretty great. At least you have all the data in one place. And one of the things I'll also look into improving is also, if you go to the Future Titanic Supply, as you can see, for instance, the Titanex Future Supply next 14 days, there's 2 versions of the same data. And that is, on the left, you see the date, and on the right, you see the same data, but with a contract day. So I might look into the future improvements to just have it all in one, basically, because then I'll have a bit more space, and maybe I can add some few other things here which would improve some of the things. But nevertheless, that's pretty much it from my side for now. And yeah, I'd like to hear some other insights from other people. You guys learned from me, but I also learned shit tons from you guys. So really, I'm really grateful, and a lot of nice messages coming my way. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's hope for a great future. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks again. Can I just say, this is the time where I think we would open up the floor. And if you have any questions or thoughts to share or anything to discuss, please feel free to come up and share those thoughts with us, so we could discuss it. In the usual way, please send a request, and I'll bring you up. Richie, in the meantime, do you have anything that you would like to say or share with the community?
Yeah, sure. So glad to see everybody here and everything. Man, it's just a lot going on, huh? And it's just pretty cool to be involved in Titanex and how small it started and how it's going. And just so some of the things I think that cross my mind, and happy holidays to everyone, by the way. Some of the things that cross my mind are always going to be like, risk, threat assessment or management, risk management and things like that. And so I look at Titanex and some of the things that go across my mind, and I'm not going to sit here and dissertate for a long time because I make my tweets and I put my ideas out there, and y'all see those ideas. But a few of those ideas that have are reoccurring or kind of are coming up or this like risk assessment, right? And so the tweet I made today, these are just ideas that go through my head, and I try to share it with y'all so you can see like kind of where I'm coming from in my success in crypto. And I've either been real lucky, real smart, or just something, but I've done really well in crypto. I've had a couple bad bumps, but most of all, I've done pretty good. And so this time I didn't get involved in the HEX community, Matic community last time. I made a lot of money. You can read my tweets in Matic and HEX, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I didn't get involved in communities. And I don't know why. It just hit me for this one. I don't know why. I really wanted to share my knowledge and the things that I used to become successful in crypto, in life in general. And so this risk assessment's a big part of it. And when I look at Titanex, I look at the information that Plan A has shared in a little different light, or just like I look at that information a little deeper. So one of those things is liquidity, right? Overall liquidity. And so you start thinking about liquidity. And Titanex, I think I tweeted something out. It's a mind bender, man. It's a mind bender. It's going to challenge people's orthodox ideology regarding this, because you look at liquidity and you say, well, the liquidity pool on Uniswap V3 is $1.4 million, and that's a two-sided liquidity pool. And I think on V3 they can be unbalanced a little bit, but they're pretty close. And so you got $500,000 worth of Ethereum on there, and chart is going down and things are red. Oh my God, this is terrible, and that's why I tweet this kind of things, because you have to be wise, you have to be smart. And I know we said that in HEX. I saw a lot of people say that it's an IQ test. All of life is an IQ test, man. And so when we look at the liquidity, you got to look at the buy and burn. This is a version of the OA. This is a version of a whale, right? A benevolent whale. And you go and you say, if you total it all up, like I think Plan A said this, there's 30 million, I don't know, something like that, in liquidity, or between buy and burn and the liquidity pool, but only $500,000 of Ethereum is in the Uniswap. 500,000. The other 20 something million or whatever is over there in a buy and burn wallet that can only be, cannot be drained, and et cetera. And so this is a benevolent whale wallet, smart contract, whatever you want to call it. We call the function as a community. And so there's this huge protection barrier if you start looking at the layers of the thing, and there's liquidity. That's number one thing that you look at, because ultimately, how am I going to get out of this thing? Yes, it's in the buy and burn. There's risk in everything, but I'm just trying to make a point of how I look at my situation here and why I continue to buy every day, or whatever. Max-Link miners. Why I'm going to buy the biggest buy. Or one of the biggest buys I'm going to make is on January 20th, and there's a reason for that. And so I'm still buying. We're still early. You start looking at how many wallets were in Matic. You look, 600,000 or something of this nature. HEX, 300, 400,000. We have 10,000, 12,000 users. I mean, the probability of growth is high, right? Everything is to the right and up. And so I look at that. I look at, future, what is the stability and future potential of the project? You've got $4 million or something like that, if not more, in a 369 staking payout that's contractually bound to pay holders that are stakers. Between the 888 day and the 369 day, there's over $4 million. But the Ethereum is what matters. And we know that there's a bull market coming. We know there's more money coming into that staking pool with miners being created. And how big is that going to be, even if 369 and 888 are past the bull market for some reason, right? It doesn't matter because we know this stuff stays and it only comes down so far. So you're going to have millions and probably tens of millions of dollars in a 369 and an 888 staking reward. These are risk threat assessment things that tell me in longevity of the project, Titanex can go to zero, guys. You understand that, right? It can go to zero. And if there's $50 million in 369,888 staking pool, Jake can die, it can all go away. And if you have, Titanex and you can stake it contractually, the website goes down, build a different front end, and there's a liquidity accessible to people. And when there's liquidity, people will come. I don't care, and that's why I never wrote off Pulse Chain. There's Ethereum compatible DAI over there that people will come to Pulse Chain, and I'm not here to tout Pulse Chain, but they will go there because there's liquidity. Whales and people with money and smart people go to the liquidity. You understand? And so there is liquidity in the staking pool that is contractually bound to release on those dates, and that no one can change that. That has no keys, admin keys. That's going to happen. So. There's a lot going on there. And there was an OG dude that used to be in one of the, I'd get in the telegrams once in a while and listen, and he would say something like, and I don't remember his name, but he would say something like, the contract determines ROI, but the community determines yield. And so if there's no one to buy, the contract can say all this stuff, paper gains, but the yield comes by community. And what we get, and you have to have people to deposit funds and to get funds out. And so this community is growing very quickly and very rampantly, and people are dedicated. I love this community because I see positivity, I see giving, I see caring, and I see a lot of very positive, energetic signals coming from the community. And it's huge, and this really matters because, I always started a few businesses and I've done a lot of things in my life, and I always said, well, what makes me different? I'm a tattoo artist, right? I'm booked out, way out. I get $200 an hour to tattoo, and I just do it for a hobby pretty much. But why am I booked out? Because I treat people right. There's reasons, right? And there's all kinds of tattoo studios, but I outperform them left and right. And this is what you do, what makes us different. And in a world of greed, and we're here all to make money, but in a world of greed, you can still have compassion. In a world of greed, you can still have kindness. You can still do these kind of things. And I'm really proud to be a part of this community because I see so many genuinely smart and good people here. And that's what brings me here. And the final thing I'll say is, the bull market has not even kicked off. Okay. I mean, I think we're going to see it earlier than before because of COVID, and there's other reasons why I think that people in markets love to front run, and they front run and they front run and they front run. And so it will push the cycle forward and forward and forward. There's more intelligent people. There's a lot more money. There's potentially ETFs coming and things like this. So there's front running that goes on, okay? And so being early matters. You see that in Titanex, right? You see that in HEX. You see that in everything, in Bitcoin. And I think people are front running the market. They want to be early, and what is early? It's going to be earlier than you would have thought early was, okay? And so today is always better than tomorrow, man. And I'm not a shill per se, okay? I'm just saying, pay attention to what's going on here, man. And you have, like Plan A said, you have a system that under promises and overperforms. I mean, oh shit, the T-rank bonuses are actually higher. Oh shit, how many other things? It's a giving machine, and we're giving. It is, and so that's there. The last thing I wanted to say was liquidity comes, and it's not even fully arrived, right? And if you've been in a bull market, I mean, XYZ coin pumps, and so the best ones pump the best and the hardest, obviously, and $1 billion was sacrificed for, or $2 billion for Pulse Chain and Pulse X. And, that was just give me your money, no promise for anything. And I'm not banging on it. I'm just making a point. $2 billion came for that. How many other sacrifices were on Pulse Chain and other things? Hundreds and hundreds of millions. Don't think that the way this is set up, as Plan A stated, and listen, I don't know Jake. I've never spoken to him. I've never DM'd with him. I don't know anyone here hardly. I think of Jay-Z, this guy right here lives by me in Dallas. I've messaged him, Mike Dean. There's only a few people I've even messaged, and I'm just a guy. And so, but don't think that billions and hundreds of millions of dollars aren't going to come into this project. We already have had how much? And hundreds of millions of dollars went to these sacrifices and pulse chains for a promise of something tomorrow. People are tired of that. You know, today you can get it. You see short-term miners are successful, right? Now they're getting pushed back a little bit. And this is a balancing thing, right? I'm not against short-term miners. It just needs to be in balance. And if it's not, you're going to see the chart look like it does, and you're going to see things happen because it's entropy. It's entropy and it's duality, and every up has a down. And this is the psychology of trading and investing. And so there's a lot of liquidity coming. People do wait to see results. 90 days is going to be a big deal. People are going to be like, wow, that shit's still here. I'm starting to see tweets that say, wow, that shit's still here. And I guess the last thing I would say is I do say things like, you know, a little bit abrupt, sometimes sweet, but I'm really concerned with people shilling and saying ape into this, ape into that. That's not a good plan or strategy, right? And we can be aggressive in our investments, but I just really don't like influencers and people who come out and say ape, and try to make promises of returns and things of this nature. And I want to know if they're getting the coins to promote it, even within our own community. And I don't like that, because if they're getting coins, and if you're listening and you're an influencer or whatever you think you are in Titanex, from my perspective, I'm going to call you out on it. You know what I mean? And I have my wife's a software dev, and we'll look it up. I'm going to find out if people are getting coins to promote shit and haven't read the white paper, haven't done their homework, haven't reviewed the contract. Don't be that guy, because that's the last thing we need to see is people getting wrecked on things that are built on top of Titanex. So if you're a builder on Titanex, yeah, that's great. We want people to build, but there's going to be accountability. I promise you, because we don't want that for people. And then, yeah, and I just, you know, go out there, have fun, and thank you all for following, and thanks.
Oh, thanks, Richie. You know, that was very well said, and I think that sort of takes us on to the next topic that you know, I would like us to discuss here, and that is with respect to new projects. Now, if anyone wants to discuss or ask questions, of course, feel free. There isn't much information on much of the new projects that are being built, and again, I think Richie, you really took the words out of my mouth, but I really wanted to say, of course, third-party projects are, you know, welcomed and encouraged from a community perspective. That's what we want to see. But I think we should look at the guidelines that Jake recommended to the community. And I think it's important for us to stress here. We've got some, I'm sure there may be new joiners or people who are intending to participate in the Titanex protocol, who've dialed in and are just listening. I must say, we're not endorsing any third-party projects here. I think that has to be said. I think if we look at Richard Hart's, for instance, and look at what he's currently going through or facing, I think nobody can accuse him of endorsing any third-party project. And so, I think third-party project founders here shouldn't expect an endorsement, so to speak. I think if you have a worthwhile project, it should stand on its 2 feet. It should benefit the community, and I think you will have your feedback in the participation of the community. I think we really have to but we really got to take it seriously. Take the fair crypto concept that Titanex has demonstrated works. But we have to take it seriously. We've got to make sure that the community is informed, and we've got to take individual responsibility as well. So no endorsements. Community should be informed. So full disclosure, again, information symmetry. The sort of bad behavior we've seen in the past with ICOs and we're not overflogging the point really doesn't have any space or any space here. So expect a very enthusiastic community. And if as a founder, you are able to, and this goes for every one of us who really intends to build something on Titanex, if we've got something that can contribute to the community, I think there is a great community here that will hold us accountable and draw the best out of us. And I think that's the way it should be, and that's the way forward. We have a very low risk regulatory-wise environment, and any protocol that appears to raise that regulatory or legal risk is one that I believe the community will simply not accept. So good. But I think on that note, I think if anybody has anything to say with respect to third-party projects or questions they need to ask, that third-party project should bear in mind, please feel free to come up and share, what you have in mind. I think next year, I think I can say it out there, we probably will have a meet the community session for these third-party projects, and it will be available there. It will be an opportunity that's available to founders to come and speak to the community and share what they have and just be transparent and address and answer questions. So that is something that we could very likely to do next quarter, first quarter of next year. But I think again, this information of full disclosure information, asymmetry between the community and founders, showing and demonstrating to the wider crypto community that this is doable. We can self-regulate, that crypto has grown up, and that there are communities here that can self-regulate and deliver and not hurt people, not hurt the community that they intend to serve or build for. Yes, Mike.
Yeah, so one thing I just want to mention is that, obviously I have a YouTube channel and I guess a bit of a voice in the community as well. So obviously this is going to be quite an issue right now. Obviously, if I interview any of the project and any of that, so I would have to come up with somewhat of like principles, because I cannot be I have to remain neutral in some ways, which I guess could be kind of very hard. But I will have to come up with some few principles which I'm going to, let's say, which is going to guide me how I'm gonna frame basically the interview in some ways. And probably some of the things which I would like, obviously I'm gonna write some few tweets out regarding those principles, and maybe you guys can I gather some feedback also for me. I mean, much respect to Richie B. He has been around, and same as well. I've been around quite a bit. And I mean, in most of these things, I see obviously a lot of people are seeing opportunities. They're seeing Titanex is growing. They're seeing the buy and burn Ethereum right there. And obviously, some people are just out there to come and, well, fleece people, basically, right? So this is going to be also very hard for the community in some ways. But nevertheless, I think we have some few principles which we can start off with, especially the fair crypto, which is definitely one principle which is going to guide us. And another thing as well, I mean, Jake also mentioned this in the interview, which is that like devs or people who build stuff, well, I mean, they would also need to, like, I mean, there's some, if they come up with something and put it out there and we use it in some ways, for them to do that, there will need to be somewhat compensation in some ways, and that should not be looked bad. I mean, obviously the principles have to still stay there. And one of the principles for sure is like, hey, are you burning Titanex actually, or you're just not introducing a token and people just get your token and there's nothing, it's doing nothing for Titanex per se. So definitely one of the principles is like, are you burning Titanex? For sure. And if that's not the case, then I don't know, maybe you're just trying to get you want to get a piece of the community, which is definitely, yeah, without giving anything back in some ways. So I mean, I guess this is not the easiest thing to guide, but I'm gonna try to come up with like a set of principles which I could be talking to, yeah, these founders and so on. So anyway, I think that's will definitely make sense for me, because if I have a bit of voice in the community, I'll have to remain somewhat neutral. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I would say that, and then we can take things from there.
Yeah, and somebody could create a launch pad, because then it would set up sort of like a standard, you know. And I think one of the things is the burning burning Titanex, and using Titanex to buy, if it's, for example, NFT or something of this nature. So like the what were those called, the Titan punks? I mean, I understand what they were doing. They were making it affordable for people, I guess, in some way to put it on Pulse Chain, but it makes no sense. You're just taking equity or whatever from volume off of us for what? I mean, you know, and if somebody created Titan punks on Ethereum, and it's kind of like this idea that scared money don't make money. And I mean, you know, you would definitely be, I mean, I would be all over a Titan punk that was built on Ethereum, that was built on Titanex, that cost Titanex to buy it and burned a little bit. I'd be all over that. And I know other people would too. They bite the bullet and invest, and those things go up in value. Those original first wave Titan punks would be worth during the bull market how much? I mean, you guys know what goes on. And if you had a, you know, first generation or whatever you call it, you know, NFT of Titan punk with, you know, and whatnot, you know, and I know that the fees are higher, but, you know, Jake addressed the issue regarding building on Pulse Chain. It's nothing against it right now at this point. And like I said, I invested in it. I have some stuff in there, and I'm not against it, but volume does matter. We have 10x volume on Ethereum. So on the flip side of saying, oh, fees are cheaper, yeah, well, also you're circle jerking until it takes off. And I think that it potentially will take off over there. But the issue is you're circle jerking with each other. On Ethereum, you have 10x the volume and how many x the people. So you can't look at it just as that it's cheaper, the cost base. You have to also look at yield and return. And so that's a one-dimensional investment ideology to say that fees are cheaper. Well, fees are cheaper, but nobody's buying shit. So, I mean, it's a catch-22. So that's kind of like, you know, and then the other thing is, yes, I mean, I mean, I think it's a lot to ask someone to per se dox themselves, the founder of a major project, maybe, and I'm not speaking against Jake. I understand why people, especially in the US and different things, don't want to show their face or dox themselves or something of this nature. But at least, you know, hey, say, hey, here's my Twitter. This is who I am. You know, come on Spaces and let us talk to you. I mean, I'm not going to buy shit unless somebody does at least those things. I'll just tell you that right now. You're not getting $1 from me. And I mean, I'm not going to sit there and call everyone out, because that's not me. If it's egregious, I will. But, you know, it's going to be, the community is going to feel a lot more safer, and there's going to be so much economic energy. And there already is. Just go look at the buy and burn, go look at the staking locked up, the total value locked in this community for how many, 60 days and 10,000 people is astronomical, honestly. And so think about everything we're saying to y'all. And I hope somebody else comes up here and talks, though. So, Matt, I'd like to hear from you, Matt. This guy right here, he's 21 years old. He just started with Titanex and got a YouTube channel. Matt, raise your hand, or some of you guys, so we can hear from you, because, you know, you guys, you know, we want Orion, all y'all, let's raise your hand.
Well, whilst we're waiting for, for anyone who wants to come up, Orion, of course, please feel free. I've sent you an invite, and anyone else, if you want to come up, we really want to hear from you. Okay. But anyway, whilst waiting, I'd want to say just a few more things. It's for those who are new or considering joining Titanex and wondering what Titanex is about. I think reading the light paper, which can be found on the website, Titanex's website, is definitely a good start. Just in terms of a quick summary, Titanex exists within the movement of fair crypto. So just in case you're wondering what it is we're on about when we talk about no ICOs, no pre-sales, and so on, what that means. I'll just I'll just summarize that very quickly, and then PM, I'll come on to you. Just very quickly. No ICOs, of course, means your initial coin offering. No IDOs or pre-sale of any kind. No pre-allocation of tokens is pretty much what we're talking about when we talk about fair crypto. Now, put aside all the regulatory issues that occur with ICOs and sacrifices and IDOs. The level of abuse that occurred with these forms of fundraising within the crypto space is it's very well known. And the fair crypto movement was just, I think when you look at the performance of Titanex, you can see that there really was a thirst. There was a thirst within the crypto space for honest projects that could launch, but not abuse trust of the community. And so, in essence, the fair crypto is your no sacrifice, no pre-sale of any kind, no allocation of pre-allocation of tokens to a founder or a venture capitalist or the team that can eventually be dumped on the community. None of that. And of course, no backdoors. And so we don't want to have any backdoors that has backdoors to the liquidity of a project. And then you find out, and once the project is launched and you've got liquidity in the project, that a founder or the founder of the project or the team or a team member ends up using that hidden backdoor to go in and pretty much steal the liquidity. There's been all sorts that has happened within this space under this, in the last few years, and under this banner of ICOs and sacrifices that it will be good to read up on if you're new to the space. So good. Within the space, within the crypto space, we are operating, okay, and exist within the movement of fair crypto, and this is doing quite well so far. On that note, let me hand. Yeah, okay. Mike, after you, and then PM.
All right. I mean, we can just continue, but one thing just came in, I think, a few minutes ago, I guess. Well, actually, no, probably 20 minutes ago. There's some news regarding Hyper, actually, which Jake tweeted out. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, or we should just let it be for later on a bit.
Well, let PM speak and share what he has in mind, and then you can come back in and raise or discuss what Jake has shared.
And let's listen to.
Actually, I just had the same question that Mike. I seen about like an hour or so ago. Jake tweeted Hyper does not require ETH. So I'm just trying to understand from the perspective of the community, like, what do you guys think this means? Does it mean that you don't need that 0.2 ETH for every billion you burn of Titanex to get Hyper? Like, how does this impact the burn pool for Hyper? I was just trying to understand more insights from the community. So if you want to discuss this later, I'm all for it, but that was my question.
Yeah, so in my opinion, and everyone can say what they have to say about it, I think we just have to be really careful. I think that maybe going over Mike Dean or somebody going over what was tweeted out, I saw it as well. It's just really hard to speculate, and we can only go off the information given, and definitely Jake is hyping it, which is good, and this is what people should do, right? But it's really hard to speculate on something. We don't know what the pools are going to look like and stuff like that. At least I don't. So I don't know if somebody knows more than me, but my thought on it is let's briefly overview what he's saying, and then let's kind of go into it a little bit more when we know more. But what do you think, Plan A, Mike? I don't know, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I think, Mike, hand over to you. What do you think?
I mean, for sure, we just have the information which we just what Jake has sent out for now. So I mean, my question for me would just be, I don't know what is new maybe, and what has changed from initially what was said earlier, because I think 2 weeks ago I was interviewing him and he had sent out also a tweet out regarding hyper. So now things are changing a bit. So that the only thing we could look into is like what has changed basically for now.
Yeah, go for it, man. I saw that he's going to have 2 coins now. One is the old hyper, and why don't you just share on it? I think. What do you think, Plan A? I say just share on it.
Yeah. So the thing, yeah. So what it seems like there's going to be 2 protocols, right? And the second name for the second protocol there's the name is going to be announced. There's no name for it for now. So the tweet was basically the following: first protocol, so new hyper, will focus on maximizing liquid Titanex. The second protocol, the old hyper, will get a new name, will focus on maximizing stake Titanex. More info soon. Yes, there will be 2. So there you have it. That's pretty much the news so far.
Okay, I think so. It seems that Jake is pretty much adding a bit more to his earlier tweet, that he's building more than just one protocol on top of Titanex, it seems. But yes, I think having a bit more information to substantiate his latest tweet would definitely be very, very helpful. So yeah, PM, I don't know if that helps. I know you. That was your question as well.
I mean, it's like I guess one of you guys pointing out, it is somewhat early, but at least I have some insight into the sense of like what Jake kind of tweeted. Thanks, Mike, for providing more insights on that. But I guess I'll wait for the white paper.
Great. Yeah. So we watch the space. Adam, do you have anything to share?
Oh, hey, how's it going, guys? I just think with the latest tweet that he just put out about having that, kind of putting the original hyper idea on the back burner shelf, that it's going to make people want to obviously hold their liquid Titanex in order to participate in this new protocol that he's got cooking up. So I think, for what it's worth, just a random thought that it's going to be good for price, which will in turn create more miners, which will in turn pay more stakers. So I think, just looking at it for 5 minutes, it seems like a net positive.
Okay, I definitely can see that point of view. I think, yeah, we'll just wait for more information and see. But I think if we, two protocols instead of one, and even if it means hyper at a later date, I think I can give Jake the benefit of doubt on this. it would be in the interest of Titanex and the community as a whole. That will be my initial thoughts. Of course, I'll wait for the white paper like everyone else and study it when it's released. Good. So again, if anyone wants to add anything, please feel free to come up and share. I think.
Hey, Plan A, can you call up this guy? Do you see Matt? He's a listener. He said he has to come up. He said he has to come up, but you guys didn't let him come up.
Oh no, I did. That's okay. Let's see. Bear with me.
Try to send a request, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, can you please send a request?
And shout out to the 70 people on YouTube live.
That's great. I must say to our YouTube listeners, thank you. Mark, I think I can't really see your invite. I've checked, there's nothing there.
Maybe just make him a speaker if you can. I don't know.
Okay, let me see if I can. Let me see. Just find him and just send it. Now, bear with me.
It'd be good to hear from OP Cost Crypto too about his what he created for the community as well.
Okay. Well, Richie and Mike, I've sent you a co-host invite just in case. See if you could invite him from your end and see if that works.
Okay.
It was Matt, right?
Yeah, I just got him.
All right, yeah, I did too. So yeah, let's see.
Yo, how you guys doing today? Good?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so listening to you guys speak, I'm blessed to be a part of this little community, but listening to you guys speak, I have to agree with what Adam said, because as a lot of people are taking a part of hyper, most people have their stakes, what I realize are all for long term. And it's gonna be very valuable to have this Titanex liquid. So it's gonna make the miners that we have currently like gold, because the more people that the bull run's not even here, like Richie said, the bull run's not even here, and all these catalysts from the Bitcoin halving, ETFs, elections, and then hyper as well. It's gonna drive a lot of, since it's all built on Ethereum, it's gonna drive a lot of liquidity towards Titanex. It's been number 5 on Ethereum on the day screener since I got in. And I first got in around, I'm a little late, but I got in like around November 26th. And since then, I've made a good substantial amount of returns from my investment. So it's like over time, it's getting better. And then now he's making 2 hypers. Now he just tweeted he's making like 2 types of hypers that's going to build on top of Titanex. And like, like Adam said, the more Titanex that gets burnt off the market, is going to increase the people's FOMO, because not everyone is tapped in like us, so we know we're having a good strategy, but most people, they see these green candles and they're about to start buying in on the green candles. So as FOMO kicks in, the more people are making miners, which is feeding to our T-rank bonus, the more Ethereum is going towards a staking payout, and it's like the rinse and repeat type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this guy's, he gets it. He's 21 years old, and he hit me up, and you guys saw my tweet. I thought it was spam, and he's got a YouTube channel. He's 21 years old, and he's documenting how he's making money on Titanex and stuff like that. And it's the people's coin, man. I mean, every day, people making money every day. That's wild, man. That's wild. And he knows what he's talking about for being a young kid. And he's got it because you know how it is. I mean, I've seen it already. I have my own charts on the side, and I'm telling you right now, people buy more miners when price up. People love to buy green candles. Right now is when you'd be buying those miners, because you get more early right now, and then when they start buying on you, that you're going to get that T-rank bonus, man. Buy the red candles, and it is inversely, or it is correlated with the price chart, the miner buying. Mike Dean could probably talk more about that. But anyway, it's really good to have you around, Matt. Oh, and when ETH goes up, we can talk about the effect of ETH when it goes up. It's going to increase all kind of things, all kind of stuff's going on, and people are going to jump on this project and look at what the price is right now. And you say, oh man, this I can only get a 7x on this miner full power right now. Bro, how much does that price have to go up? A fraction of a penny to double. And now you're getting a 14x on your miner. You think this thing's from where it's at way down here isn't going to 10x, bro? I mean, wild.
Orion, do you want to add to that or raise anything at this point?
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, great talk, great discussion. Thanks for thinking of me, inviting me up. I guess I just wanted to maybe touch on like the whole liquidity aspect you guys were talking about earlier. Richie was bringing up. I just kind of want to echo his points that he was making about just liquidity, providing the liquidity that's in this project. And then how that relates even to like these third-party projects too, and like maybe what to all of us be on the lookout for when it comes to all these new projects launching on top of this project. And so when a new project launches, setting up their liquidity pool, right? How are they burning Titanex? How are they capturing value into their protocol, right? Is it set up in a way that it's just siphoning that away? Or is it being done in a way to protect or complement or bolster like the existing protocol, right? The base protocol. So it's just something to like be aware of, I guess, think about, look at. So if projects are launching, I guess maybe the other thing I'm looking at too is like, what are they setting their in, because every builder can set up to 8% of the Titanex that's burned goes to them, right? Or it could go, and like Jake is doing it, he's using his 8% to go to buy and burn Titanex and Hyper, right? So if a new project is launching, like if someone's setting that, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 8% of the Titanex that's burned, is it just going straight to them? Is it just a cash grab? Are they anonymous? Are they engaging with the community? Is a portion of that going to maybe buy and burn, or go into a locked liquidity pool, or going into an LP token that they're burning, kind of like the PTGC project and the Tropa, just to give an analogy. There's different ways that like people can set these new protocols up. But the point I guess I'm making is like, as more projects come out, liquidity is going to potentially get divided unless, this thing keeps growing and more liquidity keeps coming in, as you guys are talking about going into the bull run. So I know those are just some of the thoughts I had on my head. So I'd like to hear what you guys have to think about that. The last thought I had too was, in terms of the Titanex liquidity pool specifically, Mike Dean made a good video about how we could, how people can set up a single-sided liquidity on the buy side to sort of sell out of their position, and as the price goes up. Another thing to think about is, and I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. The other way you can set up liquidity providing is like create a sell wall on the project to protect the price from going down more, which I noticed in the past week or so that started to sort of happen. So yeah, I don't know. There's the general idea of liquidity, and then if you have any deeper thoughts on like actually liquidity providing for Titanex or some of these other projects, I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts are on all that.
Yeah, Jake just tweeted that the white paper for Hyper is coming in a couple of days, that the coding is about 60% done. So we're going to get a white paper on that Hyper. And then one of the ideas about Orion's issue is don't forget that there's always, regarding projects on Titanex, some of the liquidity ideas are people are going to get paid. So who knows if they can provide their own liquidity for the projects or how they're going to do their own tokenomics. But there's an incentive for them to build there for one. So there's capital coming in return. So if they put something in, they get something back. The other thing is that don't forget that it's not a promise, but 3% goes to that Genesis wallet. And regarding, projects starting, it talks about liquidity going to projects. So those are my inputs on it.
Does anyone want to add to that? Yeah, I think, Sorry, Mike, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually great news. Richie, you just said it. Yeah, I'm just watching the tweet right now. So the new Hyper white paper drop in a couple of days. Absolutely amazing. 60% done with coding. Oh man, guys. Yeah. How do you say, like, it's keeping on your toes or whatever that saying is? Yeah. So definitely catching up on everything. It's quite crazy what's going on, man. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Anyway, that's it from me for now.
And there's a lot of moving parts, and y'all been in this bull market, and I'm telling you, I think it's coming a little early. And when this shit takes off, it's just boof, a rocket. You've seen it before. So, be smart. Be smart here, man.
Completely agree. Yes. Blockhead, over to you.
All right, guys. So don't take my questions the wrong way, but I have to ask them in this way. I was not in HEX. I was not in Pulse, but it seems like everybody's riding this project 100% as if it were those other projects. How did those other projects maintain credibility, and how do we compare?
Richie, can you take this one?
Yeah, so there is comparisons that are similar, but there's very many other things that are different. And so the reason why it made a lot of sense to me is because it took what people would perceive to be the downsides to the other projects, and that would include Zen as well, I think, but I never got involved in Zen, and I didn't sacrifice for Pulse Chain. The features I see most are the similarities to HEX in the adoption amplifier, sort of the getting in early bonuses, the T rank versus T shares. But I've mentioned how this is better than T shares because it's only for 280 days. In the most, first day people, after 280 days, they lose their T rank. And they go to the end of the line. And so now they're buying into you if you got in before them. See what I mean? So Jake definitely took the best features and then some of the downside features. For example, HEX had the OA. Nobody knows who it is, whatever it is. But, I guess another thing would be the adoption amplifier, how we put money into there and no one knows where that ETH went. So in this, the idea of the adoption amplifier is the buy and burn contract. We know exactly where all the Ethereum's going. And it's also, we know the distribution of the ETH. Okay. This is a big deal because where did all that liquidity go? People want to know all the time. And that's a big knock on it. There's other things. If you got in early, the first 10% of people had T-rank bonuses and they just dump on your head all day, and you can't take that away from them. If they played it right, they would just short-term stake and revolve and never get rid of their initial investment or whatever, or their initial HEX. So, but it's only got small features of HEX, portion. It's got a portion, I don't know about Pulse Chain. It's got Zen in there. It's got Bitcoin in there through the mining, and several other things. So it would be really hard to address what you're asking without you having specific questions regarding it. Regarding credibility, I think that most of the things are transparent. You can just read through the white paper. It's all kind of there. So a lot of this transparency is there that wasn't kind of there in some of those projects. But I can't speak on Zen. Maybe Adam or Mike or somebody else can speak on it. I didn't really mess with Zen. So
yeah, I was not in Zen either, but it seems like our social media presence seems like we're combating those protocols. You know what I mean? That's what people are looking at.
Yeah, because I think that there is definitely people more than similarities or whatever contrasting ideology. I think people from the communities sort of are fluidly adopted kind of through there. So I think that there's people from those communities, and there is features of those projects in here. But I guess I would just say, you know, and everyone's welcome here. I mean, Richard Hart, I'm a smart guy, right? I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but I got to tell you, man, Richard Hart taught me a lot about crypto, bro. And I don't really necessarily get into banging on him too much, or the people in Pulse Chain or HEX or any of that. Everyone is welcome here. Zen, everyone is welcome here. Of course, we're gonna chide at each other a little bit, because it's kind of like, you know, when you were in high school and you're playing football and your team is a rival team, but you know, you don't want to see those guys fail, really. I don't want to see anybody lose money. I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. And so I think it's just a little bit of competitive nature in people. There's a lot of people here, you know, we're competitive, we're investing and stuff like that, but I don't think there's any ill will, at least on the end of me or Titanex. I joke about it, but I guess that's maybe what you're hitting at. I'm not sure, but everyone's welcome. I mean, I don't think there's anything bad.
No, and I'm not fighting any other protocol or anything, but all of us would like to see a good game. We're talking about, you know, rivals and all that. At the end of the day, everybody wants to see a good game. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I can jump into like just the transparency aspect. You know, the Titanex app UI is amazing at being transparent. It tells you what the liquidity backing the project is, which is amazing. We have like my Dean's dashboard or other Dune dashboards that you just see the data of what's going on. You have Titanex.watch. You can see people actively like starting miners and stakers, right? So we have all this like data that's just right in your face. I think that bolsters the credibility a lot, because it's just everything that is on chain. The community is like not afraid to just like put it out there and show it to everybody. So we're all kind of on the same playing field if you know to look at these things, right? And people call people out for, you know, if you're mining too short, you know, people are not afraid to just nudge them and say, that's a risky move, but maybe it'll pay off, right? So I think those things are things that this community and this project have going for it too.
All right, I got to ask something else, and maybe you guys can help me out. Now, so how are the current miners and current stakes affected when we are continuously having that same kind of travel or that same kind of traffic into those two sides of the protocol? Does it take away the current, you know, T rank, or does it add T rank to what we currently have, or our shares of stakes? I'm wondering that too, because every day there's you know, new stakes, new miners, but how does that affect the current ones?
I guess I don't quite understand. Does someone else understand? Like, can you TLDR that, or I don't get it?
I think I understand. So the T rank, that's for mining. So when you start a miner, then any miners that start after you just add to the bonus T rank of your miner. So that's one aspect. So the more, it's like a global referral program, right? So it's a way to just like, the more adoption there is, the sooner you started mining, you're going to get a bigger bonus. Staking, if you start to stake, every day that goes by, well, when you start a stake, you have a certain share rate, and every day that passes, that share rate goes down. So the sooner you start staking, the better off you are. But staking is you're staking into a global pool with everybody. So someone could come along tomorrow, the share staked way more than you, then they're getting a bigger slice of the staking payout pool. So that dynamic is always changing. So like as more miners come out and people get more and more Titanex on the daily, they might be staking more and they might be just every single day taking more of the pool. So unless you're like actively, continuously adding to your stakes, you could get diluted in the long run, basically. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that was more so my question. If there was any dilution down the road for the previous players.
There's definitely no dilution for your T rank bonus until your stake ends, but there is dilution for your stakers.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate what I was saying. This is really important about T rank and the HEX comparison. And I don't know if I said this clearly, and I'll break it down, I guess, a little clearer. So when you got into HEX, which I was fortunate, you get in early, you're going to have one of those really early, and I'm not sure if you understand how the T-rank mechanism works in here, but you're basically getting bonus coins. You get an early adoption amplifier percentage for being early, but you also get coins. It's sort of like a referral program, but we don't have to refer people. You just look into the white paper, and you get a certain amount, right? And it goes down every day. And every person that comes along and builds a miner, this is only for mining, and they build a miner depending on what their power is of the miner, right? So you have two variables, the days the miner can be in the power. And for every power, I think it's started out higher than Jake said. The white paper says 2,200 or 22 Titanex for each miner that started for each power that it is up to 100, which would have been 2,200, but I think it's 3,500, and they didn't update the white paper, so it's actually more. So if you were day one, you got 3,500, I think, and if somebody had a one power miner, it doesn't matter how many days, I don't think, you still got 35 Titanex bonus, and it goes down over time. And it goes from the day you're marked on your T rank, and then after 280 days, because it's the longest you can make your miner for, right? And it's all dependent on how many new miners come in and the influx of miners. Higher on one day, you get more T rank bonuses every day, and many times right now the T rank is double what the Titanex you were going to get or more. And this goes away though. And when you were in HEX, you had something called a T-share. And when you got in and bought your stuff, you were marked at a certain spot. And this determined how much HEX you got in interest and things like this. But the point of it all is that after 280 days, Jake, whoever got in day one here, they expire and they have to get back in the end of the line. With HEX, you had your T-share, and if you bought enough of it, you could do short-term staking or whatever, and get your stuff and never lose your principal, and just basically just suck off the liquidity from new guys. And as a new guy, you would never get a fair play on it per se, and that's one of the big differences that makes it fair, in my opinion.
Adam?
Yeah, just wanted to add something to what I've seen some people doing on chain for miners. Let's say somebody is making 10 miners for 10 power. I would probably advise against doing that. I would just make one single miner for 100 power to save yourself some gas, because you're not going to get any more T rank from having those 10 miners. It's all the same. So if you can afford 10 miners for 10 power, it's much better to do one miner for 100 power.
PM, go ahead.
Yeah, just to add to the tier rank conversation, man. I think, let's say your miner kind of ends, and then my miner ended yesterday. You know, I cleaned basically 10 miners. Apparently, even the miner ends, your tier rank bonus is still cumulative. Not claim right away. I would advise if you're claiming your.
I think you're breaking up.
If you don't want to claim.
Sorry about that. Is that PM? Yeah, just to mention, you're breaking up a bit. I don't know whether you've moved from your current location. So, but well, from my end, I can't hear you clearly. I don't know if everybody else is experiencing the same thing. Just wanted to let you know.
Same on my end.
Yeah, he was pretty in and out there. I think
I didn't hear anything.
Ian, we can't hear you. Just in case you're speaking, we can't hear you. It may be a good idea to sort of hop off and hop back in and see if that changes anything.
He was referring to, I think, after your miners were finished, your T rank accumulating for 7 days before you get penalized. And so the only thing that benefits is if you're not choosing to mine again. If you're choosing to stake it or if you're choosing to cash out, then it would be beneficial to wait 7 days and accumulate more T rank, which gives you more Titanex. But if you're choosing to remine, it's better to just hop out and get back in.
Thanks for the summary. Are there any other comments? Whilst we wait for PM to get a hop back on. Are there any other comments?
Yeah, I think I have a good question. How is this project so successful without the referrals? You know how other projects typically have like a referral program, and this one just doesn't, and it's doing so well.
I think we have the referral of transparency and seeing where the Ethereum that we're putting in goes to work, and it gets recycled back to the community. Without needing to have the referral program, you get to see what happens with all the Ethereum that gets put into the contract. And it's already been about 45,000 ETH put into the contract, and V2 has burned over 14,000 Ethereum and held the price where it is.
Yeah, in your original question too, I mean, you've got Zenians and Hexicans and Pulsicans and people who already understand, and between those two groups, you're talking about probably 400,000 or 500,000 people.
Yeah, I was in HEX since day one, and I sacrificed for Pulse Chain, and I do not know anything about Zen, so I cannot add to the comment of that.
Well, I know this is a little off subject, but how well or how much money did Hexicans and people in Pulse make?
Blockhead, I don't know whether that data is readily available apart from the anecdotal sort of evidence of what occurred. I don't think you have that data available. But it would be interesting to sort of to analyze exactly how many people how many people really did well. There were a few people who did well in HEX, but whether the majority of the community benefited is a completely different matter. And I think I probably would want to leave it. I do have my views, but I think I probably should leave it at that. I think you probably can arrive at your own conclusion.
Yeah, I'll do my research. I was just
on that as well.
Yeah, I'll do my research. I was just asking, just because we're all here together.
Yes, I mean, again, let me just. I think I could say this, that if you look at the initial ETH that was sort of deposited during the auction period, went to one address in exchange for HEX. When you look at Titanex, the ETH is really given back to the community. And I think when we talk from a sustainability perspective, I think this has to be the genius of Jake, as I've referred to it previously. It is also putting the community first, and this is exactly what happens when you get the incentives well aligned. You can actually create some magic. And I think for founders who are looking at creating third-party projects here, as in on Titanex, this is probably an example that should really be taken into account in aligning incentives and looking at sustainability long term. If we're not looking at short term, if we're not looking at just extracting from the community and moving on, or at least if we're not looking at extracting from the community and having the community end up with an empty bag or carrying the bag, then I think we need to be how to put it this way, less greedy or not greedy at all. And looking at the long term, you eventually actually win and do far more better than being very greedy at the onset. So that is really one of the major reasons why Titanex is as successful as it has been. And looking forward, honestly, I can actually just see clear skies. As long as there isn't any hack, and we've talked about the potential or the key risks that exist within Titanex. One of it is if there's a hack. We know that the risk of that is low, but you can't just discount it. With all other projects, there's that risk, but the risks that exist within Titanex have been really mitigated. We've got 3 audits here, and even if I think Richie mentioned this earlier, even if there's a hack, in the unlikely event that there is, the payout cycles. I mean, when you look at these payout cycles, those that are unaffected will continue to operate, will continue to pay out.
Hey, Plan A, one thing real quick. Go check out what I just pinned to my profile, and I just put into the messages. And so you're asking about people winning, and personally, my opinion is that there's going to be more winners in this than in HEX, but I don't want to keep talking about that. But Blockhead, go check out what I just pinned to mine and what I just tweeted into the comments here. I started a thread about everyday people winning every day, and this is what matters. Millionaires, how many? It doesn't matter. That's cool. But what matters is everyday people are winning every day. Go look at my tweet, and you'll see they're not me. They're saying it. And one Jordy, I think, Hexkin just I added that. She said that she made more in some month or 2 months than 9 months of salary in the country she lives in.
Where did you put that?
It's in the. Look at my profile and look at the pinned tweet on my profile, or I just put it in Plan A, or somebody can put it on here if they want. But I tweeted it in the messages to this spaces. So I just want to say that there's everyday people winning every day, and read what they're saying is all I can say.
Yeah. If I could just share to also answer Block's question from the Zen standpoint, the narrative behind Zen when it launched was fair crypto, fair launch, mining your own tokens, right? And it was, it was sort of this vampire attack on the HEX community, or at least it was viewed that way. It was a challenge to this idea of an OA controlling 90% of the entire supply of a token. I think why people from the Zen community like Titanex so much is because while that ethos is amazing, the distribution method of Zen was not ideal. And what I mean by that is when you mine Zen, you just pay gas. So all of that value to mine it just goes to the validators and none of it's captured in liquidity, right? Titanex solved that problem by, like what everyone already said, all that ETH is captured into the buy and burn, into the staking payouts, into the burning payouts. So we, as the community, benefit from mining. That didn't happen in Zen. The other thing that happened with Zen, or the way it's set up, is it's an 8-year distribution curve. So they have the same thing as a T rank. They call it a C rank. So the more people come after you, you get more. But it takes 8 years. Well, it takes like 4 years for the happening, right? Titanex, it's like 6 months for the happening. So there's that aspect, I think, is what also makes the incentives really strong for this protocol, because it's an aggressive happening. We're going to see the payout. We're going to see the value captured back, and we're going to see it back sooner. So it's a more elegant design from that perspective. So I just wanted to throw that in as well.
Thanks, Ryan. Can we go to, let's see, that's Abdullah.
Yes.
Can you, feel free.
I got a quick question. Now, if stake payouts are fed by ETH from miners and miners wear out over time and become more difficult to a point, that there might be no interest in mining, and not to mention when Ethereum goes higher and be too pricey to do miners in the future. How are stakes going to be as lucrative as now? That's my question.
Okay. Richie.
Well, I made a tweet on this too, and I'm going to put it over here. And so this is the Bitcoin ideology, right? So I've mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. Bitcoin, same story. 50 block rewards, we're on a laptop, costs nothing to produce hardly, and very frequent, right? And people said, this is 10 cents, this shit's useless, it'll never be anything. Why would you ever go and mine Bitcoin now when it costs, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands for ASIC miners to get one Bitcoin in one block? So there's this idea of scarcity, and this is hyper deflationary, right? The reason why Bitcoin did that is because it had a fixed supply. This is hyper deflationary in the end, okay? So there's going to be a demand. So what happens when mining, just think of Bitcoin, when mining becomes not profitable per se, well, then people buy the Bitcoin off the market. It pushes the price up. Then it's like, well, maybe mining is profitable. So that's why the halving of Bitcoin, the price goes up. So I'll put the tweet in the messages again, but it's market cycles essentially. And so there is, just like Bitcoin, now it's super, expensive to buy. It's super expensive to mine. And so they kind of go hand in hand, I guess.
So the stakes wouldn't be as lucrative in the future. That was the question, by the way.
It'll go back and forth. I mean, there will be times. So this the same thing. The stakes. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about mining. Did I get you wrong? I'm sorry.
No. Well, yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say.
The stakes will become as the mining waxes and waning. You're correct.
Exactly.
The stakes will
how
wax
stakes going to be as lucrative as now in the future?
Yes, and so think about price up on Ethereum, what's going to happen to the Ethereum that is collected. So think about the stakes. There's $2 million in the staking pool. And Ethereum goes up, that's doubles, it's 4 million now in a staking pool or something of this nature. So there's a very many features and things going on at one time here. And so always from the beginning, Titanex was a leverage play on Ethereum. And understanding the leverage play is all the levers that are pulled when Ethereum goes up. So there's a lot going on there. And I hope that answers it. But I would dive into the white paper and the effects of Ethereum on the system, number one. So if Ethereum goes up, you don't need as many people mining. So there's a price play on Ethereum. There's a price play on Titanex that, the price of Titanex will affect the mining. Right now it's very lucrative, and this will wax and wane such as a market cycle, ups and downs. And so same thing with the pools. The pools could go down if Ethereum goes down, right? Because it's in Ethereum, not USD or USDC. So all of this is strategy. All of this goes into the gameplay of the thing. But you're smart and wise to be thinking of all the different variables. But I hope that helps you.
And the unknown variable is projects being built. Like if something is built or things that are built make it worth mining for, that could be a huge thing. And that is a total unknown at this moment. So we don't know that. And that could make staking just fine in the future too, if people keep wanting to mine because they have a reason to mine.
Yeah, and just to add to that staking question, I think staking is lucrative right now is due to the fact that the T-shares are lucrative, right, based on the amount of Titanex you stake. In the future, however, for let's say you get 10 billion Titanex, right now you might have 0.002% of the pool, but that same 10 billion Titanex in the future might even not only even won't get you half that. So I think it's relatively T-shares are lucrative due to the fact that we're still on the project. But my game plan as it relates to staking is basically accumulate as much as Titanex possible right now to accumulate the T-shares. And in the future, it will be harder to mine due to the fact that its difficulty increases and such. And the game plan is to just be one of the few top holders that are holding the majority of the Titanex. So at that time, even in the future, your share might be as diluted if you're holding good amount of Titanex.
Yeah, clear. Thanks all.
Great. Okay, Mark, after you, then Spartan can step in. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to put something into perspective because there's 70 people listening, and I don't think they realize the opportunity they have in front of their face right now, And right now, currently, I live in San Diego, California, and for example, minimum wage for Californians right now is let's say 16, 17 an hour, right? And you're making one miner, and in one max term miner, you're making more than 3 to 4 months, 5 months of working full time because you got to pay bills, you got to do all this. But think about it, we have the privilege of living in a first class society, and think about all the people around the world who don't know about Titanex, who live in the Philippines, who live in South America. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put this into perspective. You have the opportunity, because during the bull run, it's your chance to either stay in your same location or you can move out. But you have this opportunity right now, because today is better than yesterday. Oh, today is better than tomorrow, and yesterday is better than today. We have the opportunity right now to make people's whole year of income, whole year of working in just one blue click. You know what I'm saying? And a little mindset shift, because I first got tapped into crypto in 2016 from a master Freemason. He basically told me the dollar is crashing, and get into crypto right now because that was in 2016. So how much has time has come more than 5 years from now? So imagine people who have their max stakes for 2,888 days, that's going to be till 2031. So imagine 5 years from now when you're cashing out, you have all this currency, you have the privilege, of moving out, exploring different things, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of this community. Just don't make everything about the gains. It's not about the gains. It's about your higher connection with your higher power, and always have God in mind, because at the end of the day, all of this can disappear like that real quick in one snap. So just have the long-term picture in mind, and always think about the community or give back, and you know, just that's all I gotta say right now.
Great. Thanks for that. So well said. Spartan? And then Mike? Yep. Spartan? Can you hear me? Well, if not, Mike, please.
Yeah, so one thing I would just like to mention is that somebody, Thomas Watton on YouTube, watching live right now, he wrote, "They're forgetting hyper burning stakes, making the percentage of cap stakes stronger." Yeah, so I mean, that's also one of the things regarding the stakes. At some point, I mean, there's going to be hyper or some other project, maybe it's going to be built on Titanex, and they could potentially also be burning stakes, and then the people who are left behind in the staking pool, it will become more lucrative for them, obviously. So that's also, so I mean, when you look at it as well, it's like a lot of things happen. So when one thing goes down, the other thing goes up. So a lot of knobs can be changed. Like one change here can change a lot of other things in the system. So I mean, I think that's the beauty of it, to be honest, for me as well, because it keeps me somewhat engaged, and I have to look deeper into things. I mean, these are the things which I like for sure. I mean, that's why I have the YouTube channel, and I even started making videos about it. So I definitely some interesting stuff. I mean, regarding hype as well, the news just came out that there's gonna be 2 projects, and and then there's gonna be more projects coming in the future for sure from other people. So I think all in all, the future looks pretty good, man. I have to say. I mean, I'm quite optimistic person per se. So that's that.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks again. Spartan, I don't know if you could hear me now, or whether you're ready to jump in. Well, if not, I want to say, you know, if anyone has anything to say, please feel free. Orion, were you about to say something?
Oh, I just was going to say I got to go. Thanks for having me up. I appreciate all of you. Keep spreading the love, keep spreading the knowledge, and I'll see you out there.
Thanks, Orion. And likewise, thank you for your contributions, your invaluable contributions, and take care.
This Bonnie, did somebody get him? He wanted to speak. Yeah, you got him. Okay, Bonnie.
Bon, can you? Feel free, please. Okay. It seems that Bunny and Spartan are probably not able to contribute at the moment.
No, I guess.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, finally. I was speaking to myself. But anyway, I said sup to everybody, like, hello, Plane, hello, Richie, hello, Matt, and hello, Mike. Thank you for the Excel sheet. That was great. I've been looking at Rich, and I've been looking at Marco the Hexagon, because just like Marco and Richie, I followed Richard hard before he launched HEX. So there is, like, everyone who has been into HEX understands how to play this. That's why I want to tell all the new guys, like, if you watch at Mike's Excel sheet, it's really good, because then you get an overview how much time you have and how much money you have to insert to make a gameplay, and you can still make a 1 year game play. So that's what I want to share. I don't want to share my gameplay because it's secret, because we are all competing. But I can tell you this: get in, make a 1 year play, and then you would, when you make this 1 year gameplay, you will see how much money and when you need to start to compound this money to make as much of it during this first year. Like, if you do this, you'll be happy person, as long as everything still goes. We're not getting hacked and blah blah blah. So there is always a risk. Yeah, I just wanted to share this most.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Bunny. I think so well said. So well said. And of course, you're not compelled to share your strategy or your game plan. You're right. Everyone who is playing this correctly should have a game plan and a strategy. And I think, to be frank, just listening to you say, give it, with a 1 year horizon.
Yeah.
On this, just that is just music to my ears, because I have a similar view here. If you were to take a 1 year horizon, a 1 year, 1.5 year horizon, and you stick to your game, get your payouts, because you will win. You will win and win and win.
Imagine if we did this to HEX. If we had this confidence in HEX like we have today in Titanex, do you know how rich we would be today? Oh my God!
The secret sauce is the Hexicans fading this because they know better. They're being stubborn or whatever. The secret sauce is the T rank, but the second secret sauce is the Hexicans fading this, because the more days that go by that they don't get in this and understand this flywheel and what's going on right here, the better off. Because once they get it and they let that stubbornness down, oh man, they know how to do this game.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping low profile. Because if you watch me, I'm not doing too much marketing right now for Titanex because I'm not ready. I still I don't want to share too much, but I have a 90-day plan, and I'm just in the what am I in day 14, But after my 90 day, I can start to more explain my gameplay more. But I think if you're a gamer, understand how to game something and understand what I just said about HEX. Just look at all the HEX videos. I didn't have any game plan with HEX. I just put $100, and then when it started to run, I thought I was rich, and I sold out my position at, I think, maybe 25K. But if I would have held it, I would have earned, almost 3 million. Yeah.
That's why I tweet stuff like, could you imagine selling Titanex at 0.005?
Yeah.
When it went to 50 cents, or you just don't believe that it went to 50 cents?
Because when we were in HEX, when we saw all those zeros, do you remember when everybody was laughing at, 1 HEX is like 1 Satoshi, you losers. They were only seeing 0, 0, 0, and zeros. Nobody believed in us. So nobody held. They all it's not worth anything. But at least I made a 1 year stake, so I held. So at least I went out with a good profit, but still I could have made millions. So, but this time when I see the zeros, I'm just happy to get in. So like all my nodes I'm running now, I'm just collecting, buying a minor, collecting, buying a minor. Like nobody knows for sure anything, but I'm taking the risk because if we reach our goal, we're gonna have so much money. So I don't care. I will lose 5,000 now. I don't fucking care. Because
He's got it. Man. This is my wife's sitting right here. Do I not say this all the time, baby? Yeah. I sit here and tell her all the time. I'm like, man, dude, I made a lot of money in HEX because I never staked it. That was my secret sauce. I never staked it, and I had a lot of it. And so, but this time I'm like, oh shit. And so, Jay-Z's been in HEX for a minute. I think some of these people. I mean, wow. And then the liquidity, because all of that went to the Richard or the AA or whatever, the OA. All the liquidity is accounted for. All the liquidity is accounted for, bro. And it's all going back to the people, most of it, okay? It's wild. Wild.
So I'm just so happy because in the beginning of this year 2003, I didn't see me having a new HEX opportunity. So I was kind of depressed. Oh my God, I see nothing. How should I make money? How should I save my face? And then Titanex came. Oh my God, when I saw the white paper, oh my God, I understood it directly, but now I need money. I need money. I'm gonna knock on the door to my neighbor and sell his wife on the street. I don't care. I need money. Like I was like that.
Bro's wild, dude. Bro's wild. Because he gets it anyhow, whoever's next, but he gets the thing, man. And when you get but all joking or all serious aside, it can go to zero, bro. It can go to zero. But hey.
Because I'm taking the risk. I'm taking the chance. I'm not gonna you know how they say. Some people can't even see when an opportunity slaps you in the face. I got slapped. I felt my slap. I'm in.
But buddy, you should be joining the more, man. We're laughing here, man. We're having fun.
Yeah, this opportunity hit me like a Mack truck in the head.
Yeah, smack.
And there's a lot of smart, experienced people in here, man. I mean, the talent and level and intelligence level, IQ, EQ in you guys, man, is mind blowing, man. I mean, we got a good team.
Believe me, many people they're laying low to share their thoughts because they know how this works. So they all want to take their positions. They want to get in on the stake and they want to get in. I don't really want to market too much now. I'm feeling good with how it is taking until I have all my miners and blah, blah, blah before the t-shirts just runs away. So think about that, people. There is many people in here that are FUDing, but they're buying miners. They're just buying to, it's a game. Don't trust anybody. Trust only yourself and the contract, the code, like you say. Trust the code.
Yes, Bunny, absolutely right, and I do like
I love the enthusiasm, guys.
The passion, the enthusiasm.
I've never been part of a community, to be completely honest. Like I joined crypto back in 2017, but all my investment has been more on projects that I already have ran up. I have
the blue chips.
Yeah, I had Dogecoin when it was like 0.004. I put it in like a Cryptopia exchange. Shit got liquidated. So the thing is, I've never been part of a community, and when I heard about Titanex, I do take risks, but at the same time, this is a very early project, and I was very hesitant to get in. But when I read the white paper, as well as I understood exactly what kind of opportunity this is, not only I brought myself into this, but also I'm big on family. I brought my brother into this as well, and now we're going 50-50 on miners.
Yeah.
We have over like 6 figures investor right now on all the miners right now, and we're going heavy right now. And I when
you
I see
got slapped by a Mac. Yeah.
I know. When I see an opportunity like this, it's like I haven't been part of a HEX community or Zen or whatever it is. I don't know anything about that particular space, but what I do know right now is Titanex, and this is the opportunity. Even if you tell folks, they won't understand it due to the fact that the returns are ridiculous right now, and the fact that the price is actually down. I'm actually happy about that.
Yeah, that's the problem because people are looking at the coin.
Exactly.
Look at this. It's down. How did he make? It's a scam. Okay.
Exactly.
Goodbye.
Right?
See you. Don't need you.
The price is down right now, but think about it from this perspective: buy and burn. This method buys, Titanex every 8 minutes or so. You're investing 3 ETH, is burning shit amount of Titanex right now. The supply is less. Not only that, from a staking perspective, now from a mining perspective, there are not too many short-term miners right now, right? Due to the fact it's not profitable. So your staking could be lucrative due to the fact that nobody's compounding and creating short-term miners and adding it to a stake. So every miners most likely will be somewhat long-term, at least for the whatever the duration is for the price. So there's a lot of benefit of price going down right now. Very happy to be in this community, and I do like to share 2 nuggets that I recently found via YouTube as well as Telegram. I claimed pain miners yesterday. I tested this out as well. And what I found out was I didn't find this out, but it was some YouTube videos and Telegram and whatnot. I think Mike actually alluded to this in his video as well, where essentially if your miner ends, right, you still are accumulating T-rank bonuses for the 7 days. And obviously after the 7 days, you play a penalty. So, there's some nuggets for you guys where essentially you can earn extra T-rank bonuses, even if the miner ends. But the caveat to that is you got to look at the staking pool to make sure, if you want to stake, you got to kind of play that, I guess, game theory per se. And another one is when you're claiming miners, do not batch claim if you do not have 100 miners due to the fact that it is more expensive. Well, I brought this to the development team 2 weeks ago. I talked about this in the space as well, where I found that instead of batch claiming, I had 10 miners at maybe 3 weeks ago that came as well. Instead of batch claiming single miners were a lot cheaper. That was due to the fact that there's a code behind the scene that looks at your overall miners, whether it be active as well as ended, where essentially, it charges the gas fees based off that. So your total miners, just not the ended miners as well. So that's 2 small.
But I guess the MEV RPC is also helping with the gas fees, right? Or am I wrong?
No, so the gas fees are cheaper when you claim individual miners, long as you're claiming less than 100 miners. And I actually tested this myself when the miner ended. I tested it. I later run for I'm sorry, not that piece, but the gas fees. Yes, it's cheaper. If you claim it individually, and the T-rank bonus does accumulate. I let my miner ended. I waited 1 day. I seen I had extra 40 million T-rank bonuses came in, and then I claimed it, and I staked it, and so on.
So let me put in a 200 IQ here now for every one of you guys who are listening. Were you listening to Plan A? Did you hear what he said he was doing? He said he claimed a lot of miners. And what do you think he did with it? If this was his first batch of miners, what do you think he's doing? You see, everything, listen always to all the details and listen to guys like him, Mike, Richie, and now figure out what did he do with this batch of miners. That's a T180 EQ. So that's what I'm trying to express to you. Have a game plan, 1 year, execute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minors. What do you do at the end of those minors? And what day should these minors end for you to actually do kaboom, a compound, to get 3 times your position? And what will you do that day when you're gonna claim 12 minors? Like you see? Well, that's why it's so important to understand how do you play this. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
So
Yeah.
how are you playing it? I'm just curious. Are you like, do you have liquid supply? Like, let's say you have the liquid.
No, that's my problem. I don't have so much liquid supply. So I started like how everybody should start. I made one max minor. That's the first thing I did. First thing I did, because I don't know how much money I can get, how much liquidity I can get a hold of. So I made a max minor, boom, immediately. Then I started to do my game. And then I started to look, where can I get liquidity? And I started to fishing up liquidity from little right, little left. And then I don't know how, but after that minor, I managed to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So now I have 6 minors. So I made a lot of all these 6 minors, they're all going more than 60 days. But one of them was stopping on 36 days, and I made it early. So this one, I'm gonna collect and compound every cent of it. And then I'm gonna have 12 minors running. And then you can imagine what I'm gonna do further down. And then I'm gonna do 20, 30 minors. Like you need to, like, it's a compound game. And then, so my recommendation, if you don't go in like with a lot of money, there's not much you can do regarding the staking, because you have to look where is it beneficial for you and the amount of funds you can provide. So for me, it's not beneficial to enter the stake until April. In April, I will enter the staking game. So until April, I'm just fucking compounding and finding money for my nodes, and I'm just buying miners. Boom, 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 boom. So I don't know how money.
Yeah, but think about what he's saying and what I just told you. I made a ton of money. You can go read my tweets, how much money I made on HEX. I never staked it for 1 day. Ever. Just think about that.
I'm sorry, but were you getting ETH payout for staking HEX? Like
no. You were getting more HEX. You were getting more HEX, and I never liked that. So I kept it liquid, and I wrote it from the AA, and I had Bitcoins, how I found out about HEX, because I was going to get free HEX. All right, I was early adopter of Bitcoin 2015, and I had quite a bit of Bitcoin. And I took my Bitcoin and I saw, and it was called Bitcoinhex. Go do your homework. Go put in the URL bitcoinhex.com right now, and it will redirect you to hex.com. It was originally called Bitcoinhex. All right. And there was a Facebook group. You can still search it today. I'm giving you the alpha, bro. This is it. And when I saw it, and I saw a CD, I saw what it was. I saw the AA. I got me lots of it. Okay. And I didn't make any sense to me to compound it to get more of the thing. And that was just me and how I played it. And I'm not saying in this I will, and I don't want to give my game plan. And all of us are different because we're in different spots. I have money that I don't need the money I have in there right now, and whatnot. Okay, so it's a different position. Everyone's in a different place, bro. What Bonnie's talking about is if you don't have a lot, this is how you do it. There's lots of different plays, and everybody's going to do it based upon how much money they have and their risk tolerance. Where we sit right now, you cannot lose other than a rug pull, bro. right here, right now. You cannot
100%.
lose. Okay,
100%.
so listen, I never staked it, and I walked away with $2.3 million, bro. And I'll just tell you that right now.
Congrats. Yeah, I'm not even worried.
I sold it at 42 cents, and I got it in the AA, bro. Just say that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm not even worried about the rug pull due to the fact that there's, like first of all, Jake has been in tons of interviews, so I like that there's actually a social presence that, he's embarking on, making sure he's in a lot of live streams, he has Twitters and stuff like that. So I don't think he wants to go to jail. He's a relatively young dude, and it looks like very passionate about Titanex and so on. So I'm not worried about Rockpool from that perspective. Also, the fact that day 369, there's like 8 different payouts, and 5 different payouts within 8 days. So I know we have at least until then regarding the price appreciation and so on. But at least for short term, and this is not my game plan specifically, but what I'm thinking from a game theory standpoint, I would like to do is get the ETH payout, then kind of convert that into more miners, and then exactly like what are you guys doing, compound. But there's so much game theory behind this, especially with Hyper when Hyper comes out, and as well as other protocols. So it's like your plan could change relatively very quickly, right? So we'll keep at it until we see the white paper.
And we haven't even seen like we don't even know about the excess. Will Titanex 10, 20, 50, 100, 200x, man? Oh my God! Hello. Yeah, we have to open our own Illuminati club.
Yeah, that's awesome. The thing is, what Richie was pointing out, the Q rank is basically, as Mike also alluded to, the secret sauce. So the fact that the Q rank is, so lucrative right now, much as you mine, more Q rank bonus you get, long as there's miners kind of doing their thing, so new miners coming in. And that's a game plan right now, man. Just keep on mining, stake what I can right now, get some ETH, and then play that game.
Yeah, and understand there are still not many people in this.
Oh,
still not many people in.
Yeah, dude. This is what Jake had said when he was interviewed. Titanex, he described this as a like a skyscraper or a building, right? So it's an ecosystem. There's going to be shopping malls. There's going to be restaurants. There's going to be so much stuff built into this. So we're very early, and I'm very excited to see, number of developers that will come into the space and create, whatever they want within this within this Titanex protocol. And even myself, my brother is a software engineer, and we're thinking about maybe creating something within Titanex, which I need to do more research on in terms of how to do and whatnot. But and I love the NFT project. I was actually talking about that day, day 40. I was like, NFT will be sick creating this within Titanex project. So something that my brother and I were kind of talking about. But yeah, I'm very excited, man. Very excited up for this opportunity, and so far the community has been great. So I appreciate you guys.
And the timing of the bull market is huge. This was delivered at the right time. You've got to be in the right thing at the right time, doing the right thing at the right time. And when all that hits, bro, wow.
You're so right. I think God is with us. I think He is with us. Just keep God in mind and fingers crossed. We're gonna make a couple.
All right. Hey, what do you got, bud?
Yeah, to see. I think again, addressing those who are new or those who are looking at participating, the passion that you've heard in the last perhaps half an hour is driven by data. It's real. It's not hopium. It's not just hot air. It is driven by results and outcome. And the outcome that we have experienced in Titanex so far could be evidenced and demonstrated. I think we have several testimonies to that effect. And so pretty much that's what I would want to sort of add at this stage. I'll say, I mean, if anybody else has anything to say, please feel free. I think we probably have another half an hour to go. But I think I'm very, very pleased that, end of the year, that we are all together on this, because there's something magical about this protocol. And I'm just hanging out, a couple of days before the end of this year, just shows, it goes to show that there's something that Jake has done here that is truly special. So yes, I definitely look forward to us doing more of this, more of life.
Me too. And let's see the progress from everybody. Like, remember we talked 30 days ago. Look at me now. Now oh my God. Like, I think people are going to be like me. They're all going to be like me. Happy.
I hope so. I hope that we'll get a similar level of passion, driven by results, driven by the outcome that people have experienced here. And I think our duty or responsibility would be to just make sure that we continue to grow this protocol, this community, and protect it. That's pretty much we can all play our part in doing that. So anybody else that wants to add anything or raise anything that hasn't been discussed so far? Blockhead, over to you.
Okay, so the Titanex protocol in its entirety is immutable, right?
When you say,
the code is bulletproof. I mean, Jake built a good system, I'm guessing, because for him to allow other developers to build on it, I mean, the foundation's got to be pretty strong.
Correct. Absolutely. I mean, the blockchain itself is, immutable. We're built on the Ethereum blockchain here. This is, I think someone described it, and I'd been thinking about the same thing, but somebody described, Titanex as a layer one on top of a layer one, in essence. And that makes sense when you look at it. But to answer your question directly, yes, it is immutable. You can't go changing, records here. That is so it pretty much that is a given.
Hey, Planet, can you make me a co-host?
Of course. Yeah. So I don't know if that's the only question you have, or you want us to expand on that a bit more? Okay, I think he's dropped off a bit. But in any case, I think the point that was being made, it seems, is Titanex as being a platform that other projects could be built on, and that it is a solid platform to do so. I think we all know that this was triple audited. And I think, Mike Dean, I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying this, I from our discussions specifically on this matter, I know you've been through the code very closely. You've also done a YouTube video on this. For those who are interested, you can go to Mike Dean's channel, and you will, of course, you can get to that video. But long and short of it, Titanex is it can be seen in that way. It's been described as a shopping mall, and you could, add whatever you want to add to it. And I think we're pretty much at the ground floor of the potential of this ecosystem. I've described Titanex as it's an economic system that can continue to expand and grow. And you can use it for different things. You can use it as a hedge of an inflation hedge. And I think as this grows much in the future to a bigger, much bigger platform than it currently is, I think people will begin to see, that the use case of Titanex really is there are many use cases here. You could use it as a platform that you can build on, of course, and leverage the community, of course, doing it correctly. You can use it as a store of value. I think Richie talked about a Bitcoinhex, which is a really good point, because Richard Hart's HEX was really, in his view, an improvement on Bitcoin. You look at Zen is meant to be, of course, an improvement on, I'd say, on HEX, and offer things that HEX improve and correct mistakes, for want of a better word, that we saw with HEX. But I think Titanex really is an improvement on all three. It's an improvement on Bitcoin, on HEX, and on Zen. And what you have here is pretty much a super project, a super protocol. And I'm not speaking out of turn. I'm being very deliberate with my words. And I think next year would give us a taste of what the future potentially holds. And so, yes, let's keep an eye on this, and let's build together on it. Does anyone else have anything to add? I think we're sort of approaching our closing remarks, and then we can close for the for the day and the year, and look forward to next year. So please feel free. If you've got any closing remarks, you've not said anything and you want to say something now, this is your opportunity.
Nexus, go for it.
Just want to say congratulations to everyone in Titanex. Definitely, an inspiring protocol that Jake has built here. It's cool to see what he's done with the buying and burning, and people allowing to build on top of Titanex. But just to the Bitcoin HEX comment, it is a little bit different. It is more dependent on the us building on top of it, and it doesn't inflate or deflate the supply. It's just the miners, the way they keep on buying and mining, but nothing's like HEX is unfortunately HEX is just a constant inflation. That was the problem with it. There was no deflation model behind it, or Richard didn't, maybe Richard bought a bunch of HEX to pump the price. A lot of people can have their own theories about that one, but definitely a cool design. And, we're just want a shameless plug here. We're doing our own little thing here. We are we try to be the next something Titanex, Bitcoinhex. So congratulations to you guys, and look forward to following you and hopefully building on the community, building our own community. And yes, cheers. Thanks for your time. Wish you guys a lot of luck, and remember to take profits. Don't be mega maxis. We've all been in HEX. A lot of these projects for the last 5 years. So enjoy their bags. They got them.
And thanks for coming on here. I know you're on another project and you plug it a little bit, and that's not an issue, bro. And thanks for coming on here and putting your 2 cents on here. And thanks for sharing.
Cheers. Thank you.
Great. Yes. Anybody else wants to come up? Great. Well, I think we should go to our closing remarks then. I think, Richie, do you have any closing remarks you could share? And after you, I think Mike, and then I can add my 2 cents as well.
Just real short, I'm really proud and excited. And every project I've ever been in crypto, I can tell you that this is the most exciting project that I've seen, other than Bitcoin originally, because it was just so like wow. But it's up there, and outside of Bitcoin, when I was involved in it early in 2015, outside of Bitcoin, this is the most excited I've ever been about a project, and not just about making money. And I'm comfortable in life, and I'm fortunate in that way. I'm just excited. I'm excited about the community. I'm excited about picking the needle in the haystack. And I'm just really excited to be a part of it with everyone in the community. Once again, I started with, and I'll say it again, just such a bunch of great human beings, and diversity. And it's just great to be a part of. And thank you all for being part of it with me.
Mike?
Yeah, so I want to say thank you everybody who joined and who listened, and especially even the people who on the YouTube listening live right now. So thank you. We got 69 listeners currently. I think we went up to 85 on YouTube. I'm not so sure how high we were on the on X, but nevertheless, thank you very much for joining. And I want to thank Plan A for making this happen, and Richie B. Absolutely amazing. I mean, this guy has been around and he knows what he's talking about, and I always like to hear his perspective. So shout out to you, Richie B. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm just getting ready. I need to go and hit the gym, guys. Yeah, so stay strong.
Well, Richie, thanks for your contributions. You always have a way, with words, and the way that you put things that really resonate. And I couldn't really not put it any better. I think this is really in service of the community, and so thank you so much. I definitely look forward to doing more of these with you, and enjoying your invaluable contributions. Mike Dean, well, I think it's been a journey. You keep doing what you're doing. I think the community. I don't really need to say much more than what the community kind of says on a daily basis, with all the tools and resources that you've made available selflessly. Thanks, and thanks again. So just kind of rounding up, I think I would want us just to recap again, just to recap as to why we are here. And again, this is fair crypto at its best. I think looking at the title of today's session, Titanex Best in Class DeFi, really has meaning to it. It's really meant, and I think we have the data to back it up, and we will continue to provide that data and be as transparent as we currently are, and as is possible. So I'll say, if you're looking for a first principle type crypto, or a fair launch crypto with substantive value proposition and sustainability over time, that Titanex may be the crypto you're looking for. It is a platform that you can easily get to grips with, and there are resources that are available for everyone to tap into. So, thanks again, and I do look forward to the participation of everyone in this. I've described Titanex in the past as a community-owned, decentralized bank, and that's pretty much, I still feel the same way. And I think if you study Titanex's light paper, you might very well come up with your own description. And of course, that's, if you're new, I'm sure that those who've been here for a while will describe it in a different way. So it could mean different things to different people. But in effect, I see it as a community bank, decentralized, and we can all have our individual strategies here and actually win. And that's not overflogging it. That is something to bear in mind as we move into next year. And so, lastly, I'd like to say that, well, Jake Sharp, on behalf of the Titanex community and those of us who are proponents of fair crypto, that we salute you. We salute you on building such a great platform that you've restored the confidence and belief that a lot of us who believe in this technology and that this decentralized movement has a place within finance and within the day-to-day infrastructure that we all call finance. You did actually restore that faith, and so for that, definitely, I'd like to say again that we salute you. I'd like to also thank all the YouTubers who have, over the last 64 days, pushed the message out there. So Crypto Kindness, The Verse, the Pereira, I may have not pronounced it properly, but yes, carry on. Joe Parry, Crypto Graphics, of course, our own Mike Dean, Crypto Pride, Stoner Breezy, who is hilarious. If those of us who, if you know about, or if you've listened to any of his YouTube messages or YouTube videos, he's quite funny. The Mo, Honest Crypto, Smooth and Crypto, OTMT, who is quite new, but yes, I think he seems to be doing a good job. Wrecked to Riches, and lastly but not least here, it's Bitcoin Benito, who did a couple of Titanex videos and interviewed, of course, Jake about a month ago or so. That all of these YouTubers, and if I've missed anyone out, please, I do apologize about that. But to say thank you for the great work you're doing, and we look forward to your sort of more from you next year. So, and to the community, can I just say, I think on behalf of I think Richie, Mike Dean, my co-hosts, wishing you a prosperous and a happy new year. Thank you so much as a community. I think we're pretty much more or less becoming like family now, given, we're embarking upon this great march to a decentralized future where you can actually have fair crypto realized. It's no longer the ethical.
Hey guys, I'm not so sure what happened, but it seems like the space has ended, or we got rugged by X itself. So not so sure what really happened, but you guys, I think, can still hear me. So I just want to say thank you for listening, and if you want the Google Sheet, please just DM me on Twitter at Mike Dean Live, and I'm gonna send you the link to the Google Sheet. So we're just gonna cut it short here, or actually it's not really short, it's 2 hours 43. So I'm gonna hit the gym right now. Stay strong and stay healthy. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.